101, those of you watching online, glad you're here. Thank you for your reports. Some of you had not seen a couple of videos. They are now up and running. We're going to be short one video this month. We're combining last week. The camera wasn't working. So we're going to be combining last week as well as today into one action-packed video. So get ready. Plus we have a special guest, someone who went with us on our last trip. Her name is Jane Gilmore. She and her husband Rick went with us. They're moving to Houston soon, but she's here right now, and she's agreed to come up and tell you a little bit about her trip. Jane?
Yay!
Yay!
Jane! Jane!
Talk to
Roman.
Roman.
Roman, Roman. What would you like to know? Do you have any questions? I just realized they went. They can answer any questions.
They always do. We begin a new
face.
New perspective.
I have one suggestion that I made to Pastor Khan that I think would be an awesome thing for you to do. So when we went, everybody has their camera out, everybody's taking little bits of this and that, and I suggested designate a couple of people to video the speaker. When you're at Caesarea Philippi, when you're at wherever, Mount Carmel, designate somebody to be filming the person telling you all about it as they're bringing in all the scripture and all the everything, so that then you have that for everybody. You know, we were all madly taking notes that I can no longer read, so it doesn't matter. You know, and it would have been so great to have the video that you could share with everybody. It's like, oh yes, and he brought that out, and that's why Jesus taught this here, and that's why that happened there. And I remember certain things, but I don't remember everything I'd like to remember. So you'll have a wonderful time. The food is, it's not that it's just fabulous food, that like it's just really good food. It's so fresh. It's so, you will love it. Have you been?
Sure,
It's so, you know, salad and fresh and just right out of the whatever. There's so many things that you're going to see that you didn't expect. I think it's how compact it is. Maybe you know that, but when you're at a point where someone can point and say, there's the Mediterranean, and there is the other edge, and you can see both, you're like, whoa, this is tiny, tiny. You'll see the difference between how Israel is, how Israelites are, how they take care of their land, how they take care of their community, their cities, compared to any place you'll see that just borders it. It's like going to Juarez. You know, you're in El Paso, and then you look and you go, whoa, what a difference. And what else was I going to say?
Was it worth going?
Sure, of course. Yeah, obviously it's worth going again. So,
What were some of your highlights?
Well, when I said that, one of my highlights was Baños Paños. Is that, see, now what is that we know? What do we know that? I don't even know what we know that as.
Caesarea Philippi.
Okay. At the base of Mount Hermon, and one of the highlights is why Jesus chose that point to confront his disciples with, who do you say I am? And what surrounded that, I won't tell you that, why there. And Mount Carmel is always, it's not just, oh, this is a cool place, that's where the fire came down and took out the prophets of Baal and all of that, and why that point was chosen, because of what I just said. On a clear day, you can see what happened right there from anywhere. You know, remember that? Remember that? It was just like, so those two things stand out, and then, I don't know, just like everything else, you'll make great friendships, you'll have just a wonderful time. You know, if you have any questions, you can ask me later. And that's it.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane.
Sure.
Thank you, That was an impromptu presentation. She stuck her head in to say hi, and we snagged her. So that was cool. So at any rate, what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to go over last week's very briefly, and then we're going to get into today. So we're going to cover a couple of things. The first thing I want to make sure we all understand is there are two different subgroups of Judaism. I am in Hebrew is plural, that's their S. So the Ashkenazi, that's one branch of Judaism, That is the word for German. So these are just German Jews, the Ashkenazi. If there's more than one, then we put the I-M on there and make it the Ashkenazim. Many of them, but that's the German Jews. Most of the Jews today are descendant of the Ashkenazi Jews. Germany. Sephardic, remember what Sephardic Jews are, where they're from?
Spain.
Spain. These are the Spanish Jews. Either Northern Africa, Spain, even in a little bit in the Middle Eastern Jews. The Sephardic Jews are significant to us because we're in New Mexico. And during the Inquisition, it was the Sephardic Jews that the church turned its wrath on and persecuted the Sephardic Jews, the Jews from Spain. Many of them left and ended up over in Mexico and then drifted up into north of Mexico into what today is a state called New Mexico, right here in our back door. And the Sephardic Jews settled up in the northern part of New Mexico. And you can tell, and it's interesting, I was pastoring in northern New Mexico for 15 years and had a number of Sephardic Jewish people, it appears, in our church. As we studied this and brought this forth, they got all fired up and started really checking their backgrounds. I am! And people would come forward that this explains so much. I remember one guy came up and he says, you know, my great-grandpa, he always had my parents as grandchildren and my grandparents as children. Every Friday night, they had a candle service. And they couldn't do any work Friday night to Saturday night. And we always celebrated a special meal in the spring of the year where we had certain things that we would do, a memorial dinner. And we'd ask, why are we doing this? He said, we're just doing it. The Passover, obviously. But they had to maintain a low profile, so they went to the Catholic Church. They appeared to be Catholic, and they were basically quiet Jews who had escaped from the Inquisition, and the descendants had moved up into northern New Mexico. You can tell people who have the Sephardic Jewish background by their last name. You will see God's name in their last name. The name for God, remember, in Hebrew is El. So you look at a name like Re'el, Sephardic Jewish name. So a lot of Re'els don't even know it. But we had Re'els, that's why I think of Re'el, because we had Re'els in Santa Fe. They went back and checked and found that they had come over during the Inquisition. Their family, they believed, had, and they were all excited. We're Jewish. I said, yeah, maybe you are. But you're a Christian, that's what matters, so calm down. But it was exciting. So Sephardic Jews, Ashkenazim Jews, German, Spanish Jews. Oh, that's not a question. The reason that's important is because the Ashkenazim developed a prayer shawl. Now the Bible does not tell, God does not tell his people to develop a prayer shawl. It assumes in the Pentateuch that they have one. They talk when you're praying, cover yourself. So a prayer shawl, something they did. In Numbers 15:38, it tells them to put little blue tassels on the corners of their prayer shawl. So they were to have these blue tassels on their prayer shawl. Pretend this is a blue pen, okay? Unless I got one here. Maybe. Yes. So blue tassels on the prayer shawl. So this became the Ashkenazi prayer shawl. It was a white shawl, either made of wool, but usually of silk. And instead of the blue tassels, sometimes they put blue tassels. Other times they would just put a blue stripe like that. And that was the prayer shawl. This was called a talit, the Ashkenazi talit, the prayer shawl. That's what that is. Why is that important? Well, when we go to Israel, we'll see some of the Orthodox Jews having this prayer shawl, and they'll be their talit. But it's much more important than that. Anybody know what this is?
The Star of David.
What kind of symbol is that? Jewish, Christian symbol, what do you think?
Jewish.
Jewish symbol, sure, that's what I thought too. And when we go over to Israel, we're going to see this at Capernaum, in the ruins of Capernaum. And so far, the last 4 times we've been there, there's been discussions of controversy over it. Because the tour guides tend to make a strong point, this is not a Jewish symbol. And we as Christians go, what's the matter? It's not a Jewish symbol. Look at your flag, it's a Jewish symbol, come on. And they said, but it's not an ancient Jewish symbol. It's just a decoration. The shofar, that's Jewish. There's a lot of Jewish symbols, but not that one. This is a Christian symbol. I said, say what? No, that's an ancient Christian symbol. And when you look at the ruins of some of the churches and that, going way back, there it sits. Isn't that crazy? It's like, what? That's what it is. It's just a former Christian symbol that did not have anything to do with Judaism for real until 1897. When in 1897, the first Zionist Congress said, we're going to take this and we're going to make this a symbol of Judaism the way the cross is a symbol for Christianity. They said, yep, we're going to do it. So that's only been a little over 100 years ago. That's been recognized as a Jewish symbol. Interesting, during World War II, of course, this was the symbol that was attached to the Ashkenazi Jews as a sign of Judaism, or Juden. So it's a fairly new Jewish symbol. But then to make matters extremely interesting, when Israel became a state in 1948, the symbol that was pinned onto the Jews in Europe as a mark of basically a death sentence, they took that. And almost like the Christians took the name Christian in Antioch, when they said, oh, they're Christians, and they said it down degradingly to them, they took, and the Christians said, yeah, we are Christians, we are little Christ, yeah. They took it proudly. That's what the Jews did with this sign. This is the sign of Judaism. This was a death sentence for our people. It is now the symbol of our new nation in 1948. 5 months later, they said, we need to develop a flag. They said, let's take the Ashkenazi prayer shawl. We'll turn that prayer shawl this way and take the corner tassels off. And they said, let's put those blue stripes on them. There's the talit, the Ashkenazi talit. And let's take this new symbol and we'll just put that. And there's the Israeli flag. So the Israeli flag is the prayer shawl with the Star of David, which they now say represents the shield of David. But it didn't come a Jewish symbol until the end of the 1800s. Now it stands for the nation of Israel. So that's the flag, the background of the flag. So we're going to see a lot of flags. It's good to know what's going on with the flag. What's the purpose of our 13 stripes on our flag, American flag? 13 colonies. What's the purpose of the 50 stars?
50 states.
What's the purpose of the stripes on the Israeli flag? It's the prayer shawl. It's just the prayer shawl. What's the purpose of the Christian symbol in the midst of a Jewish? They changed it and said that's going to be a Jewish symbol. The Star of David stands for the shield of David now. But it is a Jewish symbol standing for the Zionist movement as well as Israel as a nation. So now you know the meaning of the Israeli flag. Okay, got it? Their colors, white and blue. There, we got that one done. Pretty good. That's what we covered last week, right, guys? That's pretty much what we covered last week. We did a lot deeper stuff, but we got it. Now, today is going to be a fun one. The rest of the day is going to be like chill. It's going to be Israeli cuisine. So we're looking at Israeli food, and I got stuff for you on this one. This is going to be some fun stuff. I'm going to hand these out to you probably now, I guess. The first one now, and then I'll give the second one later. The first one, this one is a little bit boring, but it's fun. But it's the second one's like really fun. I'll hand that one out in a little bit, so otherwise you spend all the time reading that. Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Well, is Rachel serving something?
All this is this gives you not the evening meal. These are the breakfasts, the lunches, and the snacks, and some of the different drinks that are typical Israel cuisine.
Boregas, Roman. First one, boregas.
Nice. Lamb. Oh my God. I'm really getting hungry.
So, the breakfast. Now, this is what is typical in Israel. Unfortunately, for the most part, we eat a whole lot more than this. But this is if you're out and you get a chance on your day off, if you want to go check a breakfast, that's the purpose of this. When we go to the hotels, we go down to the breakfast, it's all paid for. And it's a lot of food and a huge variety. Fruit, extremely fresh. Grapes, ridiculous. This big grapes. Avocados, how big? Avocados about like this.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. How big? Put your hand up so you can see it on the camera. Just put it up. Yeah, there's the avocados.
Whoa.
You can't even begin to believe what you're gonna see. It's like all the fruit is on steroids. But it's sweet, it's fantastic, and it's just, the food, this trip is not about food, it's not. But boy, is the food awesome. And it's not what you're thinking. It's not, that's all I can tell you, it's not what you're thinking. We walk in, and where the food is, the tables of food that we go to eat from would not fit in the sanctuary, I don't think, sometimes. It's more than the sanctuary. So it's just table after table after table after table of food. It's a buffet thing, and you just get to go as many times as you want, as much as you want, and it's weird food. It's like really good. It's fresh. It's awesome. You can, some of the places you might get a little bit of American breakfast. Why would you? I mean, they might have some cornflakes in one of these little dispensers and some milk. Well, I guess, but don't do that. You can see a lot of fish for breakfast, a lot of fish. Fresh fish, really good fish. Eat the fish for breakfast. I don't do fish for breakfast. Well, you do now. Do fish for breakfast. It's okay. You're going to see eggs. You're going to have a lot of cucumbers and onions and pickles for breakfast. And it's fantastic. We're going there to experience their culture. You don't have to, but you'll lose if you don't. So just do it. Just do it. The breads are fantastic. All kinds of different breads. Fantastic breads. It is just crazy, crazy, crazy good. Hey, David. Lisa with you today or no? Okay, glad you're here. So we're just talking about food right now. So the breakfasts are really good, really good. Well, these are just some things you can look. I'm not going to read these to you. You'll see it. But I just want you to see the little things. As you look at this, this is not typically what we eat in the States for breakfast. So venture out there. Have fun. Enjoy your breakfast. Typically what happens, and I'll probably do it too, by the time we're there for 2 weeks, the last couple of days, I'm done with my bowl of cornflakes, a banana cut up in it, a little bit of milk, and a roll, some kind of bread. I'm good to go. But for the first week and a half or so, enjoy the cuisine. It's fun. It's just fun. Enjoy it. So breakfasts, we're going to have huge breakfasts. You're going to enjoy your breakfasts. It's fantastic. Their yogurts, very good. Very good yogurts. So when you get your day off, you have a couple of days off, if you want, just go out to the city and get a breakfast somewhere.
Is
Just go.
this yogurt like Bulgaria's yogurt?
Yeah, it's very good yogurt. Very good yogurt. You will love it. This shakshuka, I've only had it once, and it's pretty good. It's like cut up tomatoes, blended or something, and they put it with eggs, and it's really good.
Yeah.
It's just really good. It's watery, but it's good. I was surprised. It's very good. So if you see it, try it. Try it. See what it's like. Anything you eat. Yeah, it's cooked.
Like
It's,
cooked eggs?
yeah, they're cooked eggs.
Tomatoes or what?
The tomatoes were cooked too, yes, but it was good. It was very good. But the thing to remember, we're in Israel. It's like you're going to Santa Fe to eat. You can eat anything. People sometimes ask, is it okay for us to drink the water? And they just look at you. Yeah, it's okay for you to drink the water. You can drink water. You can eat food. Wash your hands. Because you wash your hands here. Just wash your hands. But you can eat anything. You can drink anything. You are so stinking safe. So just calm down and enjoy it. The lunches, we're going to get into a little bit more detail in a minute here, but let's take a look. Typical lunch, and they eat very light lunches, not like in America. They eat very light. So you'll pick up and you'll grab something just to go. It says here for a quick meal on the go, it's easy to grab a falafel or a shawarma on the street, usually stuffed in pita with french fries or chips, they call them, with some chips, and a salad. Very easy to do. So that's typical of the lunches. So you'll notice on the trip, we provide breakfast and supper. Those are the two main big meals. A lot of Israelis only eat 2 meals a day. That's their culture. We Americans always say, we gotta eat, give us some food. So they say, oh, you guys want to eat? There's a place to get a sandwich. But if you watch the tour guide, if you watch the bus driver, they usually don't eat the midday meal. They eat morning and evening. That's just their culture. They know Americans, we eat more. So they kind of work at a lunch from time to time. So there'll be times we will have it. If we're not gonna be able to have a lunch, we're gonna be out somewhere, we'll make sure we know about that and grab a couple pieces, extra pieces of cheese, a couple pieces of bread, we'll be fine. You come back, you can really chow down at night. So we'll be fine, we'll be okay. So sometimes you will be buying your own snackages during the day if you want to eat a sandwich or something. I think we provide 4 lunches in the Israel trip. I think 4, maybe 5 of the first 2 weeks. But they're going to be falafel on the first tour day, a fish dinner up to Galilee, and a couple down in Jerusalem. Other than that, we're on our own. So you might just be ready for that. Food is very inexpensive there, so it's not going to be a costly thing at all. They talk about the baba ganoush. That's just fun. You have to kind of develop a flavor for it, but again, try it. Don't wrinkle up your nose because it's different. That is the picture of the ugly American. We don't want to be them. We want to be the one that come in and appreciate a different culture. So it's not like, oh, no, just enjoy it and eat it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. Don't make a big thing out of it. But try it. Just try it. It'll be fun. The falafel we'll talk to you about a little bit. Hummus we'll talk about a little bit. The malawak is flaky round pastry. It's just, think of it like a donut that's smaller. It's very good. I don't know if did we go over to Ben Yehuda Street during the day on our last tour? I don't think we did.
During the day, I don't
I think we did it at night.
Night.
Yeah, at night. This is where you'd get it, at Ben Yehuda. You'll find it down there. Ben Yehuda, if you hear that we're going to Ben Yehuda, when we're in Jerusalem, Ben Yehuda is just the name of a street. But he's a hero. I think it's spelled like this, something like this. I could be wrong. Something like that. But he's a hero. He is the one who said, now that we're in the nation, we want to bring back our language. Not Yiddish. We want Hebrew the way Abraham spoke it. So he went back and developed a curriculum and he taught all the kids mandatory ancient biblical Hebrew. So he is the one who brought Hebrew back. So when you hear Hebrew, to me it's one of the biggest thrills. When I hear them, you'll hear the bus driver or the tour guide talking on his little walkie-talkie deal in the bus, and you'll hear him speaking Hebrew. When you hear that, realize that's the language of Abraham, of Moses. Jesus would have been speaking that. David would have been speaking that. It's just always amazing to hear it. It's like, man, this is cool. So that's Hebrew. So Ben Yehuda was the guy that kind of brought that language back into this time frame. So one of their main streets in Jerusalem is called Ben Yehuda Street. Ben Yehuda, we don't go there as a tourist, we go there for fun. Absolutely no tourist significance there, so tour groups won't go to Ben Yehuda Street. But we'll be home one day in Jerusalem, probably around 4:30 or 5. Some people go to the pool, whatever. We'll say dinner at 6:30 maybe, let's say, whatever. We have dinner, and after dinner we say, we're going out tonight, which is pretty much every night in Jerusalem we're going out. And there'll be someone say, where are you? We're just going to go, and a couple of you'll just take off by yourself and go. Have fun, have a blast, you're safe, you're safe. You're going to hear Connie, I say, we're going to Ben Yehuda if anyone wants to go to Ben Yehuda. When you hear that, jump on. You don't have to hang with us there, but it would be good to go with us there. And then once you're there, you're free to go. But Ben Yehuda is worth going to. It's where the Israelis live their life. It feels very European when Ben Yehuda Street. It's like walking on the Shah Al-Assay without the fancy stores, but with all the people. It's just nice. People are out walking. There's little restaurants and little shops, and it's just the locals out having fun. You'll see the little Jewish families out for a walk. You'll see ice cream on every corner. There'll be little music things going on. There'll be little things over here going on, things going over there. It's just like it's just the community. But you get to see people for people. So we're going to go do Ben Yehuda one night. It's definitely worth going to. That's the place. If you say, I want to try one of those flat little things, bring this with you and say, I want to find a malawak. And they'll say, malawak, over there. Your little malawak there, it'll be there. Pita bread, it's the same thing as the pita bread we have here, but realize that's their national food. That pita bread is one of their main things. The falafel and the pita bread is it. So we don't want to say, well, we have that back at home. Don't do that. You know how weird it is when people come here and we give them green chili. So, oh, green chili's no big deal. We got better green chili back home. It's like, whatever. So don't do that. We're there to be gracious, to enjoy their food. The pita bread to them is everything. So you take a piece of pita bread and some hummus and you sit down by the pool and you're just going to rest for a minute. Oh man, put a Coca-Cola right there. Come on, you're in the promised land. It's pretty good. It's pretty good right there. So enjoy the pita bread. Their pita bread's very good. It won't be stale, it'll be fresh. It's amazing. The sabi is a sandwich of fried eggplant, a hard-boiled egg, and then you're going to see this tahini sauce all over the place. A lot of tahini. That's one of their main staples. You'll see it on the falafels. You'll see it a lot on the shawarmas. It is really good. The schnitzel, I've never had a schnitzel. That just seems funny for me, but I guess it's because the Ashkenazi Jews brought the German food down with them. So I guess that's where that is. Shawarma, we'll talk about that more. It's my favorite all-time food right there in Israel. Shawarma is top of the line. And then, of course, tahini talks about that. On the back side of these, talks about the snacks and desserts. There's just some. They're all over the place. Baklava, they have great baklava here. Great baklava here. The crepes, really good, really good. And it's an easy thing to grab, safe to grab, fun to grab them. Ice cream is something we have a lot. A lot. I don't know if the tour guides know Americans like ice cream, but every tour guide I've had, and I've had like 5 different tour guides, they all make certain we have a lot of ice cream. That's just a thing, a staple. Almost every day we hit ice cream if possible. So a lot of ice cream, lots of ice cream. So we'll hit a lot of ice cream. I don't know anything about this natha. I don't know what that is. I didn't know it was called a malabi, but I have had that pudding. For me, it's, you know, it just depends on your palate, but it's fun to try it and see what it's like. The salab I know nothing about as well, but there they are. The drinks, their coffee, the coffee in Israel is the bomb. Unfortunately, we're there when it's like 100 degrees in a lot of the time in the southern part. But drink their coffees. Their coffees are crazy. Cappuccinos are really interesting. They make them upside down, but it's really good. The cappuccinos are fantastic. So try their coffees. I don't know what they do with their coffee. It's really good.
What's upside down mean?
It's, you know, you put the froth on the top and all that. They make it the other way. They put that in first and upside down. And it's just different, but it's good. It's good. The lemonade, they call it lemonana. Very good. It's a mint lemonade, extremely good. And then, of course, their teas. So these are just some of the things so that when you go, you get a chance to see. But now we want to get into the real deal. I put these together. A little bit of pictures so you can see. These are the 5 main things that I want to challenge you. Make a checklist. Make certain you try all 5 of these on your trip to Israel. And some of them you'll take a lot. The shawarma, I try and get at least a shawarma every other day at least, because it's pretty much fantastic. But these are the 5 main foods that you want to make sure you try. The first one is the falafel. I want to make sure people know what a falafel is. This is their enchilada. It's the falafel. That's what they're known for. It's the falafel. It's chickpea. Let's just read it out loud so we've got it, right? The king of Israel, Israeli food, no question. Though actually originally from Egypt. Isn't that something? So it's an Egyptian thing, but don't go over and say a falafel, that's from Egypt. No, don't say that. Just never mind, it's good. A delicious mix of chickpeas, or these little fava beans, spices liberally applied according to each falafel stand's owner's secret recipe. Now catch that. So you go up to the stand. This first place we're going to go to is Little Drew's village up in the northern part of Israel. We're going to stop there and they're going to just have, it's part of the trip. So this is the introduction to falafel. And you get a chance of falafel or shawarma. Make sure you try their falafels for sure. Because their falafels are as good as anything you're going to find anywhere in the country. Shawarma is shawarma. It's fantastic wherever you get it. Some falafels are pretty good and some are like, but this one's really good. So go with this falafel, but realize when you taste it, and you go, this is good. And then you go down to Jerusalem and you're at this stand, and they speak Hebrew, but they understand English. And you take it back, well, this falafel's not as good as the one. Don't do that. It's just different. They just have different spices. It's nothing wrong with it. People spice it differently. So just again, always be thinking sensitivity to culture. That's really important. So it's depending on the owner's recipe. These little falafel balls are then thrust into a pita, nestling alongside freshly cut salads, hummus, tahini sauce, pickled vegetables, which are fantastic, and maybe some chips. That's French fries. When I say chips, those are French fries. You can find falafel almost every street corner, especially in the larger towns. Prices are very cheap, often as low as 10 to 15 shekels, $2.50, $3. So it's not expensive. And then there's the unspoken rule of free salad refills. I didn't know about that. And I'm going, what is that all about now? You have to pay more for more falafel balls. So, don't eat all your pita right away, eat out of your pita. You can go back, save a couple of falafel balls, you get a refill. And then put your falafel balls back in there, and you get 2 for the price of 1. I like that, I'm gonna do it. The second thing, so that's falafel. So falafels, it's in a pita, it's a pita bread. Okay, you got to think of like a taco, you know, pita bread. They put those in, they put the falafel, about 2 of them usually in there. A bunch of different vegetables, pickled vegetables, some lettuce in there, and some french fries. And this white sauce all over it. And it's messy, it drips all over it, it's fantastic. That's the falafel, that's their #1 thing. Hummus, you know what hummus is, the Prince Charming of Israeli food. Hummus is actually originally Lebanese. I just find it interesting, the falafel, Egypt. Hummus, Lebanese. Hummus is a kind of dip or spread made of crushed chickpeas, mixed with tahini sauce, lemon, olive oil, salt, and garlic. Served a lot of ways, including a main dish with these fava beans and a hard-boiled egg. Side dish at a big meal. Hummus also become big business in Israel, where in addition to the many cafes, restaurants that serve it, you can find amazing variety of hummus in tubs in every supermarket. Then it talks about its nutritional value and blah, 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 blah. So, hummus. So we have falafel, we have hummus. Now for the grand, oh, daddy of it all, shawarma.
Oh, yeah.
This is unbelievable. Shawarma, you'll see them on spigots in all these different stores. There'll be this glass window, and you'll see these guys, they're just working away, and there'll be this spigot, a metal spigot, and it's rotating. And on there is the craziest looking thing, because you'll see the stacks of meat on these spigots like this. And it's there, and it's just turning, and it's being cooked. And then they take lamb oil, or lamb grease, or lamb something, and they pour this lamb juice over this meat while it's cooking. And this can be chicken, a chunk of chicken. It can be a chunk of turkey here. It can be some lamb over here. You never know what you got in there. It's just there. And they put all this lamb juice poured over it, it's heated up. And then you say, I'd like a shawarma. They'll take this long old knife and they'll just slice off and catch all this. Oh man, it is ridiculously fantastic. Shawarma. They put that, here it says, you can often find shawarma in exactly the same place as the falafel. If not, it's going to be right close by. Another street food extremely popular in Israel, shawarma is typically, here it is, slices of turkey, chicken, or lamb, which are usually shaved off a huge slab of meat, roasting vertically on a big spit. Eaten in much the same way as the falafel, stuffed into a pita with salad, hummus, tahini sauce, pickles, and chips. Or for the big boys, the lafa. An Iraqi-style pita. Think of it like an oversized tortilla. It's like the big burrito, the lafa. Oh man, I only had it one time, and it was too much for me, so that's telling me something. It's a lot, but it's pretty good. Rolled up around slices of meat and salad. Costs like the same as the falafel portion. If you go for the lafa, you might be paying around 30 shekels. Personally, I find shawarma a much more satisfying meal than either hummus or falafel. Oh yeah, this is an American treat right here. So the falafel, or the shawarma, very good. Now comes up with this jack nun. The king of weekend eating, jack nun is traditionally a Yemenite dish, usually only served on a Saturday morning, Sabbath. Though it is available in many hotels and restaurants throughout the week. Jack nun is made of rolled dough made with plenty of unhealthy margarine, which is then cooked overnight for about 10 to 12 hours. The best way to eat jack nun is with a grated tomato, spice up with a little bit of Yemenite shug. It's going to be hot. Along with a hard-boiled egg, you can see the picture of it there. Preferably one also cooked in the same overnight pot. Why do you suppose it's a Saturday morning meal?
Because they started it Friday night.
They started it 10 hours prior, so they don't have to cook, they can't cook. So this is a Shabbat food for the Jews.
The egg. Is it green or something small?
Shakshuka, this is that tomato thing I was talking about. Another fantastic Israeli food that also has its roots in the Arabic world. This concoction of tomatoes, onions, garlic, some crucial spices such as sweet paprika is usually fairly liquidy mess that is then topped off with a poached egg in the same frying pan. If you order shashuka, don't be alarmed to see the frying pan placed in front of you was for me. Still piping hot. Usually a cheap and satisfying meal as long as you get enough bread to soak up all those frying pan juices. So your challenge is, make sure you hit all 5 of these. You got plenty of time to do it. Hit these. So,
I think I should eat that.
these are our lunches and our breakfasts. Now, in the evening meals,
I want to try it.
in Israel, because we're with a tour group, you can get pretty much anything. So enjoy yourself, have fun. But lamb is one of the big things there. Lamb and fish. Lots of fish, good fish, tremendous fish. Their roast beef, their, I don't call them a steak, it's not a steak, but it's a big pot roast type of thing they slice off. You know, you've seen that. How's that?
It's worth giving it a try.
Yeah. Did you like it? Speak loudly, they gotta hear you.
Yes, it's very good.
It's unbelievable. The food
I didn't
is
taste anything I didn't like.
unbelievable. It's just crazy. The nice thing is when you come home, you don't gain any weight because we walk. So it's like, cool, you get to eat. It's like 2 weeks of high decadent food with no guilt. It's fantastic. So it's just gonna be a good, sweet cuisine time.
So we don't really need to bring any hot pants, right?
No, I got it. I got plenty to eat a pair. I got it. But it's gonna be just, that's what it is. So the cuisine. The evening meals are big, they're slow, we take our time. When we're up north, especially in the Galilee, it's usually an hour at least supper. It's a time of talking about the day, it's time laughing and having a blast. It's just a sweet time. The meals are sweet. So we take our time, we eat a lot. Then after the meals, like I said, in the north, when we're at the kibbutz, we go into, one day for sure, we go into Tiberias. Tiberias, that is a trip you definitely, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a definite. So if you're
Take
feeling
some
sick,
money.
you're tired, go to Tiberias anyway. Just go to Tiberias. You have to trust me on
I
that.
want to.
Hit Tiberias. Tiberias is nothing but sweet. It's the place to shop. If you're gonna shop, the prices are good, the selections are pretty good. The food is fantastic, and it's fun. They have little carriages going around. It's like going to the old school carnivals and small community type of thing almost, except just tourism. Sea of Galilee's right there. It's fantastic, extremely safe. Nothing but a blast. So that day we'll have a shorter meal and just hop on the bus, we'll go over to Tiberias. It's a 5-mile drive or less, just around the lake, it's nice. Then we're also gonna have, I don't think we'll do it, if you hear, but I wanna address it now, so it's not an issue over there. Some of the places that we go to, I found, is they try to get me to take you there so that you will buy from them, and then they give me gifts for taking you there. I don't like that, so we don't do that. So there'll be times when you're gonna hear, well, our group went there, and I'm gonna say, we're not going there. That's why. There's a diamond factory in the Galilee, and it's fun because Israelis are known as diamond cutters, and this is where they do it. So you get a chance to go see it, and if you want to go, we can arrange for that. If you want to go, and I want to see the diamond factory, you can. It's been a source of contention. It's the only source of contention on the trip that I've seen is a diamond factory. And Ronald, since you're wearing a sports coat, I'm going to say you're the guy that's got $500,000 going over there. Okay, so you just got it. So there's Roman and Phoebe, and they want to go over to the diamond factory. So we're all going to go to the diamond factory. And then we're going to say that Connie and I, we barely have enough for a falafel tomorrow. But we're all going to go to the diamond factory. So there we are. Now let's say it's our anniversary. Roman and Phoebe, it's not the anniversary, they just like nice things. I want to go to the diamond factory. So we go to the diamond factory, and we come walking in and they see Americans. They don't know if it's Connie and I, or if it's Roman and Phoebe. They don't know which one of us is going to have the $500,000 to spend their diamonds. So they assume we all are. So they're going to sell us. And a bunch of us are all going in. The rest of you are all middle class. Connie and I are the poor ones, you guys are the wealthy ones, and everyone else is just kind of, we're getting there, we're okay. And the salesmen are like barracudas. They're very good. And I would watch this, and it would just grieve me. Because I would see people. Roman, Phoebe, pretty soon within within a minute, they know you've got money. They can tell. I don't know how they can tell, they can tell. And all of a sudden, you guys just disappear. And they just take you in the back room, and they're showing you some serious diamonds. Serious diamonds, and you're going, that's cool. I want a nice diamond for my wife from Israel. Great, get it. Have a blast. Connie and I are sitting here, and I'm looking and going, I love you. I want to buy you a diamond from Israel. Maybe if we take out a second on our house, I could do it. Maybe we should put it on the credit card. Maybe we, and I would see people who could not afford it. Trying to keep up with people that could. Now, I was pastoring in Santa Fe. We had a lot of money people. And I would see this, and I was like, oh, this is good. No, 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 guys. Your love is not based on that diamond. This is cool. No, 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 no. And then about the diamond. So I'm sitting there worrying with the ones that are kind of like she's in tears because my husband doesn't love me when I buy a diamond. And it's like, oh, well, these guys are excited. He just bought his wife a great diamond. So look at the great diamond. And it's like, oh, this is really bad. This is really bad, you know. And we get back, and I find that Monica bought a $22,000 diamond. I said, Monica, why'd you do that? It was pretty. I was like, no, don't do that. And for the next 8 years, you're paying off this diamond. That's a nice diamond, but that's not the point of this. When we would leave, they pulled me into it and say, thank you so much, especially if Roman bought a nice diamond. I want to give this as a gift. Thank you for bringing your people. The first year I took it. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. And then I realized what's going on. And I'm going, oh, that's just dirty stuff, right? I don't want that. I don't want that. So last year we didn't go to the diamond factory, I don't think. No, I haven't gone the last couple of times. And they always, you're gonna hear about, you want to go to the diamond factory. Now, if it's something you want to do, if there's someone on the church that says, we want to go to the diamond factory, go, that's fine, have a blast, I can arrange for you to go. I want to see it. I want to buy that diamond. Well, then go buy a diamond, have a blast. But I'm not going to bring the whole group there and have this going on. It was the only time it was uncomfortable. I didn't like it at all. Well, I shouldn't say there's another time, I'll tell you in a minute. But so you hear the diamond factory, be aware of that. Apart from that, when we're up in the Galilee, there's not a lot of places to go at night besides Tiberias. In fact, that's it. That's the only place that's up there. So it's Tiberias or ruins, and at night the ruins mean nothing. So we stay there at the kibbutz, or we go to Tiberias. Those are our two options. We don't go to Tiberias every night. One night we go jump in the water and we just swim in the Sea of Galilee, because you're in the Sea of Galilee. You should be in the Sea. We're there. Let's go in there. So we have fun in the Sea of Galilee. Another night, I'm hoping this time we'll be able to have someone who can lead worship. So we can just sit by the Sea of Galilee and just worship, man. Just have fun at the Sea of Galilee and enjoy. The mornings we talked about in the past, the Sea of Galilee, make certain you get up at least one morning. Set your alarm, get up before sunrise, go out. We're sitting right at the Sea of Galilee. You got your little doors. Like the motel room at the kibbutz is very not fancy. It's like a Motel 6. But for a lot of people, it's their favorite place. Because once the light goes out, you don't know where you are, but you wake up in the morning, there's a Sea of Galilee right out your back door. So you walk out there. Connie and I did this every morning, and it's one of the highlights of our trip. We would just go out, open our Bible, and we would just read together. Different events we'll talk about when we get there that took place there on the Sea of Galilee as the suns are coming up, and you read it, and it's like, it's an amazing, amazing time. So we're hitting that. So in the Galilee, it's kicked back, it's rural, it's fresh food, like Jane was saying, it's really fresh food in the Galilee. Right out of the garden, right to the table, probably that same day. It's really fresh food, really good food, and it's pretty mellow. As we said before, we hit Jerusalem, and it's completely the other end of the spectrum. A lot of activity, a lot of stuff to see, a lot of places to go. In the evenings, we don't do the worship sets and like that. Everyone's on your own. By that time, we've been together for a week, you know each other, and groups will just start pairing up. And as we go, we'll have some people that don't know any of us here. Include them. Just, hey, come on with us, let's go. And just take them out of the group and let's go. The people that are going, I know all of them so far, all good people. There's 2 coming from Dallas. I don't think I'm going to know. Once I get the money, I'll say they're going. But other than that, I know everybody else. It's going to be good folks. You're going to love everybody who's going. I'm sure those 2 from Dallas are great too. So just include them in and go. Jump in a taxi, throw a couple extra people in your taxi if you got an empty spot. See, we've got an empty spot in the taxi, let's go. Okay, throw her in there, and off you go. But then give them a little bit of money for the taxi. It might cost you $30 or something, it's worth it. And off you go. So we just go have fun in Jerusalem. One place of uncomfortability I do want to mention, any idea where that might be, Brigitte?
The market?
No, I was comfortable there.
Um,
We're shopping and comfortability. Sandy, any idea?
yeah,
Yeah.
Bethlehem?
Yeah, Bethlehem. That's the other one.
yeah.
That's the other one. We got to talk about Bethlehem. Bethlehem you're going to want to go to because you're in Israel. You want to go to Bethlehem. Bethlehem is the only time I get nervous. The whole trip is just Bethlehem. The rest of it I feel pretty good. Bethlehem I always get nervous at. And it's not because of the danger, it's because of the shopping. It's just weird. It's just weird. They take the bus and they pull the bus up right to the front door of the shop so that there is no way. I mean, if this is the door of the shop, the bus is right here. So you step out of the bus, they open the doors up, and you walk right into the shop.
Yeah.
You're there, and they greet you with open air. They just love you. And they got all the kinds of junk you could imagine. But what's nice about it, it all says Made in Bethlehem on it. That's a nice souvenir. You can get a nice wooden carving that says Made in Bethlehem. And it's truly made in Bethlehem. It's a great keepsake. You're going to pay a little bit more for it. It might cost you $40. But it's truly made in Bethlehem. You bought it in Bethlehem. If it's something you want, by all means get it. By all means get it. The reason I'm uncomfortable, the same thing. The first time I went, oh, Pastor, you brought a lot of good people here. This is our gift to you. Well, thank you. Next time, Pastor, this is great. This is our gift. And I go, and so I just don't take the gifts. I say, thank you, but no, I'm good. No, I'm good, thank you. Sometimes I don't know if they gave it to us last time, did they? I don't think so, because I just reject it. They always try and give it to you. One time they insisted, I was going to make a scene, so I took it and I just gave it away to somebody. But I don't like that part of it. It's sort of like you bring your people, we'll take advantage of them. It's the only place they can get anything made in Bethlehem. Here, thanks for bringing your sheep here to the slaughter type of thing. I don't like that feeling. So to get into Bethlehem, we have to stop there. That's a non-negotiable. I think, I'm not certain, I think though, that is why we don't get hassled in Bethlehem. Because they know the tour buses are coming in and they're going to stop at that store, guaranteed, and they've got us. Now, don't be afraid to buy. If there's something you see, buy. But I want you to know they're going to try to give me gifts. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. So usually we don't buy. We just kind of look. A lot of our friends buy. That's great. Buy. Have fun. There's some fun stuff in there. You're going to pay a little bit more, it seems to me, but it's something you bought in Bethlehem. So it's okay. So those are the two things I wanted to mention: the Diamonds store and the Bethlehem market. The Bethlehem market, they're a little bit aggressive sometimes, but they're not stupid. They know how to make you feel like you should buy something. You're going to get a lot of free tea. You're going to get really treated well. It's going to be really nice. So if you want to get it, get it. That's fine. But I'm just letting you know, it kind of makes me accountable so I don't get tempted to take the free gift I want. But at any rate, that's what we got, okay? So that's what we got with Bethlehem and the Diamond Market. Bethlehem, there is some good things. I think we've talked about Bethlehem before, so you know about Bethlehem, so we're good there. I think we're good. Any questions on food, cuisine, snacks, or sites we're going to see, or the talent, the flag, the Star of David, the Ashkenazi, or the Sephardic Jews? Got it? Thanks for joining us. Glad you're here. Look forward to seeing you pretty soon. Okay, God bless. Bye. Shut us off,